Hello and welcome to another episode of Ideas to the World. Today I'm going to do a personality analysis of Gary Vaynerchuk, or also known as Gary V. I love Gary V. I've been following him from 2015, maybe a little bit less. But even though I love him, I'm going to be, of course, impartial as far as I know. I need to know the persons that I'm going to analyze, and I like to watch people that I think they do some good to the world, or that I like in some sense or way, or that I think are interesting. So I brought them. I brought him in, and for this I'm going to do an analysis from the personality traits test that is called Big Five. Big Five, we can also understand it to remember as ocean, an acronymous for us to remember the word ocean. Openness to experience, openness to new ideas, experiences. So person that is high in openness, it is not overwhelmed or in defense mode when it faces new ideas. No, it has a tendency to pursue them, to follow them, and to accept and understand them. Consciousness. This is definitely something that Gary Vaynerchuk is. Consciousness is somebody that works hard, or at least has a lot of self-discipline. It is methodic. He has goals and pursues his goals, of course, with the flexibility that Gary Vaynerchuk has, of course. But I'm going to be in more detailed mode soon. Uh, Consciousness, extroversion. So, extroversion, introversion, I guess it's quite right. Amability. Amability, it is if the person takes in consideration the feelings and emotions of other people and looks to put both in an harmonious functioning, which do not fit each other. So it takes in consideration the feelings a lot of other people. One person here, just to give some contrast, it can be Andrew Tate, for example, because even though he looks to be fine with people, he also uh, doesn't care in some sense if you agree or don't agree with them. He puts what he wants, no matter what. Even though I think there is a little bit of a twist here, because in person he looks to be uh, the most harmonious person when talking with each other, but no fear of fights, definitely. Neuroticism, the propensity to feel negative emotion. So here it will be something that will be scared a lot and easier by new experiences, for example, by new challenges, by the little things of the day. This is not what Gary Vaynerchuk is, definitely. Gary Vaynerchuk in neuroticism, I will say it is pretty low, as he has a propensity to feel positive emotion and to not feel or so much negative emotion, or at least experiencing it. Of course, he experiences negative emotion, but he doesn't have a tendency to experience it through the challenges that appear in his life. He just goes through life, and it doesn't matter what is happening. He always look for positivity, and doesn't has this propensity to feel these negative emotions. Mobility. Here is an interesting one, because Gary Vaynerchuk, he looks to be in a harmonious way when talking to people, but also he doesn't give a fuck if the other person doesn't care or like him, because he is able to curse, and is not is able also to not curse, but is a thing that he looks not to do it, just in extreme, outside of the norm situations, as far as I know him. So it is a little bit interesting here for me, because he looks to be harmonious with people. He doesn't look to be arrogant or nothing like that, as far as my analysis. But he also has this other part where we can say he is a little bit arrogant, because he can curse. He says and puts himself outside, being assertive in an implicit way, saying this is me, this is who I am. I don't give a fuck if you like me or not. But also when interacting with people, he also takes in consideration the other person, so they are both aligned and in a more fluid or harmonious conversation, but taking more a little bit of a lead, and being the guy that it is leading. And there is a little bit a part of him that it is not so much amability, high in ability, I would say, but he has a big chunk of it, as he doesn't look to provoke in an intentional way, but it is just a characteristic of his personality. Like, if you don't like me, I don't give a fuck, I'm going to curse anyway. This is Garyvee. So extroversion. I'll say Garyvee is pretty extroverted at this time. I'm not sure if in the beginning he was introverted, but at least right now, and personality can change along the life. He is definitely extroverted. He doesn't care where he is. He talks to people. He say, "You can come talk with me. Let's play some games." I remember seeing lots of clips of him playing small games with people that he don't even know. He's pretty comfortable with new people that he doesn't know from nowhere, playing with them and joking with them. And yeah, I'm cool. All right, let's go. Let's play. So extroversion definitely. uh, and again, and here at least my last explanation touched a little bit also on the agreeableness part. Okay, I hope that gets quite right. I would say in my analysis that is probably high, but not a good chunk of him. It is agreeable, but it is not like 100% because of the parts that I've told you of I don't give a fuck. Okay, so consciousness, pretty high. Work ethic, discipline, pursuing objectives. He's methodic as well, even though he has always changing his mind. He has this resilience to pursue objectives. So I'll say he's pretty high here on consciousness. He's an entrepreneur, works all day, all night, always thinking the business, etc., etc. Pretty high in consciousness. And oh, oh, it is for what? Openness. Openness, pretty high in openness, no doubt. He was always looking to the next big idea that is going to revolutionize the world. In 2010, he was already talking about these big ideas that today are influencing the world and are happening, like lots of people living from internet, which wasn't so common in 2010. Can you imagine 2010? It wasn't even really a thing saying I'm a YouTuber and I have big fans. No, it was like, you are what? YouTuber? These guys want to be YouTubers, low money or something like that. Today, YouTuber is a big thing. So he has this propensity to, of course, embrace new ideas, like he's doing with his clips, sharing and talking about AI, and voice. So there was a phase where he was talking a lot about voice, like Alexa, send me the what, blah, blah, blah. Alexa, do me this, do me that, and also voice in internet. And we see Threads, for example, has the option for us to not only write but to just say, and it has a transcription of what we said to into words, written words. So who is scrolling on threads can read or hear the thread of one person. So he also touches and explores those next new ideas that are going to impact the world sooner or later in the next few decades or centuries, with definitely decades. I identify with him a lot in this sense, and other senses like consciousness too, as well, and the amability, I would say. Uh, or most of them. Actually, I discovered Gary because I identify myself with him a lot. Like some phrases like, I come from the dirt, I come from the dirt, there's no matter what outside the world is telling you, let's go for it, blah, 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 blah. Really interesting. So this is my short analysis in less than 9 minutes to Gary Vaynerchuk, according to the Big 5 Traits of Personality Ocean. If you want to do your test, link is in the description. It is interesting to win some self-knowledge and to reflect about it. Also, I'm going to share with you the link again in the description. Okay, yeah, that's it. I hope you liked. If you want to support, you know what to do. And if you want to support with money so I can increase the quality of my production, you can support me on Patreon. If you want to work with me, I'm also available. Thank you, as always. Bye bye.